Mic check, check one, check two. What's up, world? I go by kinstpatrick. I like to chop it up with you guys. The name of this one is called Access, and access is very important. Just in my time in dealing with access. It allows you to create a narrative for yourself, and also give you options. And the reason why I have this picture of Charlie Countryman in my foreground is basically it represents an untold story of a lot of young men, and actually a lot of black young men who are in society today, who are very confused and wondering why they're so overlooked. A lot of it has to do with the lack of access. And I have a lot of experience of being overlooked. Almost it seems as though you're not good enough. Even though your resume speaks for itself, unfortunately, you're just never good enough, right? But I share this to say that everything is seasonal. Just like the movie. I don't know if any of you guys ever saw Charlie Countryman, but it's a very profound, emotional movie for young men and men in general who are going through a season of grieving and self-discovery. And it's almost a point of reference of sort of an initiative or initiation of a rite of passage, so to speak, because it's just like most characters throughout Marvel cinematic characters, even throughout different movies, it's a slur of most of things that most men have to go through before they reach their better self, the version of themselves that they have yet to become. But one thing about this movie, what it expresses, and how a lot of men can relate to it, is just self-discovery. Trying to set a definition for yourself that's never been defined. Nobody can't really put you in a box. Everybody's trying to, but they can't. It's one of those things that could be very frustrating. But one of the reasons why I'm sharing this photo and just kind of really piggybacking on the subject of matter of access and having it and not. After one of my recent visits to Brazil, I ponder, and I came to an understanding of that a lot of men don't have access. It is not that it's not granted. It's just that you're being manipulated, and the narrative is not for you to have access as a man, especially in this society as it sits today, and even as a black man, is even more. It's not granted for you to have access, and a lot of it is perpetuated through colorism, and I think even sexism as well. One of the things that struck a chord with me in the process of his mother transitioning in the hospital, he has a moment where, when they finally take the breathing tube out of her and the life form, her soul finally leaves her body. He runs out and just have almost like a panic attack and sits on the floor, and lo and behold, his mom's comes to him and speaks to him and giving him some words of encouragement, and just hey, it's more than life. than what you know it, and you need to create access for yourself in order to see it. And they had this very enduring conversation, and she told him to go to Budapest, actually travel outside of America to really assimilate this self discovery that he had been looking for, because obviously he was in America, he was in a rut, it was awful, man. He came home knowing that he had to go to the hospital. His last days seeing his mom, finds out his fucking girlfriend's cheating on him, and cheating on him actually with, I think, one of his friends actually. And so he gets to the hospital, and all this stuff is it seems like his whole world is coming apart. And I'm just saying that in relation to a lot of young men, and a lot of older men as well, that really has never had access to what has been shown, what has been given to them at an early age, and even now, And I'm just really, really trying to break this down so you can understand that it's more to this world and to this life than what America is showing you. It's almost like, the man behind the curtains. A narrative is being fulfilled out of America. A narrative has been in place for a long time, and it's been perpetuated for so long that now, through the manosphere and a lot of other people have really woken up to see what's really being force-fed to a lot of men. R.I.P. Charles Tyler, and to be quite frank with you, he's probably one of the reasons that I'm actually even thought to to express myself on this platform, because of him. I gotta give credit when credit's due. May God rest his soul. He really gave me an opportunity for access outside of America, and actually giving me a voice of reason to feel comfortable and to have confidence within myself to let me know that, hey, if you set forth an action, the universe will create a path for you, and you will be okay. And in congruent with what I'm saying with this storyline of Charlie Countryman, that's exactly what happened to him. Things start to unfold in the way it needed to, and manifest for him the way it should have manifested. But just like seeds, you plant seeds in different soils, you get different outcomes. If you got a tropical plant that you're planting in a dry environment, it's going to die. It's not going to have an opportunity. It's not going to have access to see what it can become. And it's no different than a seed that need to be in a dry area and you putting it in a tropical one. So with that being said, life is about access, and an even better life is about even more access. So just understanding that it's more than life than what you've been shown, because manipulation is at an all-time high, fellas. And I'm telling you, when it comes to manipulation, it's at an all-time high, to the point where you have individuals who are walking this planet that no longer agrees with common sense no more. They won't, even though you might know you have common sense, but they're so they go out their way, man, to make sure that you are confused with the decisions and the boundaries you set within yourself to become what you want to become. No business is successful without boundaries. You can't come to work late and do a shitty job and expect that business to be successful. It has boundaries. You come to work, you do a great job. The business is successful. That's no difference than in relationships. If someone disrespects someone, if you haven't set boundaries, or if his boundaries have been set and the person is not meeting those boundaries, guess what? That relationship is not going to be successful. So what I'm saying is understand that creating access for yourself really it perpetuates and creates a narrative for you to become successful, for you not to fall in a toxic state of redoing the same thing over and over again and expecting a newer outcome. It's not going to happen. And as the movie progressed, he meets a new love interest, and her name was Gabby. And you know, the thing about traveling and inquiring love interest, you know, even that's a form of access as well. You know, just if you're in America and you're dealing with the same women all the time, you know, you're gonna, the narrative is gonna always be the same, and in so many ways you're gonna have the similar outcome. Traveling, going outside the country, you're giving yourself access to women who have a different perspective on life, you know. And I'm not going to generalize all women in America when saying that. Yeah, all women, you know, conceptually could be the same in America, but it's a high probability. If you're only dealing with American women, you will have a similar outcome with you know, almost all of them. But in most cases, if you're traveling outside of America, you get a chance to see a different environment and different perception, and culturally how other women of different, you know, cultures interact with their men. And it's quite profound. It really is. You know, it's an old saying that what's for you is for you, and it's for no one else. You know, so no matter who or what come against you to try to derail whatever's for you, you know, it's for you, and it's no derailing it. You know, principle is principle, and if and that's a universal principle. You know, if you're out there trying to discover who you are and you stepping forward to create opportunities by having access, guess what? Nothing can come before you that's not meant for it to happen. It will play out the way how it's supposed to. And you know, you just have to really set a mind state that you can't get discouraged. You know, it's really your responsibility to and understand. You know, don't fall into the manipulative state of thinking something doesn't exist when it does. You know, just because you never heard of something, have never seen it, and someone tells you it, you know, just because you never seen it and never had access to it, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Like, case in point, whoever thought that, you know, Diddy had freak offs? You know, we had rumors, you know, we heard rumors about it, but that doesn't mean that it didn't exist, you know. And to be quite frank with you, you want to take a deeper dive, this is going on in America, and it's not just Diddy, you know. You having all these kind of arrangements and social engagements going on across America, but guess what? It's only certain people who have access to this. And guess what? If you're not, if you don't have that ticket or that secret passcode, case in point, I don't know if you guys ever seen eyes wide shut. You don't have access to this. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean some of the women that you are involved with are not engaging in such activity and manipulating you to make you think that it's not. Or they're manipulating you to making you think that this is rational behavior, and you don't know what you're talking about if you get wind of knowing that they're a part of something that is seen deemed to be unbelievable, not true. You know, they're manipulating you. So in most cases, yes, it is what it is, and action does speak louder than words. So, you know, and that's a different subject matter. You know, when it comes to, I guess, when it comes to dating in America, and eventually I'll probably expand on that topic. But I just want to keep this about access. But even within that culture and that span, you know, access is access. You know, regardless, and different thresholds and different perspectives, access is access, and you either have it or you don't. But the thing about the individuals that do have it, they always seem to be more successful than the one that don't. Whether it's having access to create a mental state, you know, mental health, whether you're traveling, whatever you love doing that can provide a healthy state of mind, you actually have to have access for that as well. Or you have to give yourself an opportunity to have access to create a healthy conscience, to embody a healthy lifestyle. And I'm just giving you some gems, man, on encouraging you guys to just really set forth a plan on trying to create access for yourself. And it's no, I want to say there's no gatekeepers to this. You know, success is based off the eyes of the beholder. And as long as you're doing what you love, you know, make sure that you're happy with it and you're okay. But having access to create such things is very important. So with that being said, I'm just going to leave you guys with that. Like, subscribe. I'll be posting more insight on just life content, getting your mentals right, and y'all have a blessed one. Peace.